Facial infusion is one of the most exciting things that I created, basically because there's so much going on out there right now, and some of you have probably already read my position on overly aggressive chemical peeling and overly aggressive chronic exfoliation. I really think that damages the skin, and I'm not really sure what the long-term purpose is. I know what happens short-term. I know the benefits short-term, but let's just take a second to talk about that so that we can better understand what makes facial infusion so great. So, typically someone will use a strong acid on the skin. That strong acid will melt away, burn down, compress a lot of the epidermal layers, and most people have a positive reaction to that. In other words, if you came to your esthetician and said, hey, I have aging skin and I really want to get rid of it, and then after the peel was put on your face, chunks of this aging skin were falling off, you'd think, oh my gosh, what a wonderful result. All that damaged skin that I was so worried about has fallen off, and now my skin's going to be healthier. It just makes sense. Well, that's only in the eye of the beholder, unfortunately. At a deeper, more physiologic level, what actually happened there is that you just sped up the exfoliation of a very renewing, ever-renewing actually, epidermal layer. Remember, our epidermis throughout our entire lifetime never thins. Our dermis, however, after about age 25, thins about 1% a year. Unless you're a rosacea sufferer, it probably thins a little bit faster than that. So when we approach peeling, we need to stop thinking about peeling the epidermis because very little good comes from that. Now, I know you can normalize skin tone, and in the rare occasion you can actually stimulate some collagen and elastin, but for the most part, any collagen and elastin that's stimulated is actually going to rebuild the epidermis, which was going to keep going anyway. You see, when we treat the epidermis, we're not really treating the part of the skin that's aging, so it's sort of a wasted effort. Now, I totally understand the need for it. I totally understand how most businesses are built around exfoliating the epidermis, so I'm not here to tell you to change your business strategy. What I am telling you, however, is that we can make a tremendous impact on the skin when we bypass the epidermis, and that's what's so neat about facial infusion. Even though it's in the category of a chemical peel, the reality is it's more of a dermal treatment. You see, we're using a lot of liposome delivery. Remember, our liposome is phosphatidylcholine, and it's what the cell wall recognizes, so it's very effective at penetrating into the skin, and as we've mentioned, it actually increases penetration by 1,000%. So you take that phosphatidylcholine, you wrap it around all these incredible ingredients, and with the facial infusion, if you use our L-ascorbic acid crystals, you will actually get 8 fibroblast stimulators being delivered into your dermis. Okay, so you have L-ascorbic acid, which we know is one. You have R-lipoic acid. And I know I say this is actually a non-acid peel, but these are ingredients that are acids, and they're not creating a significant effect on the overall pH of the peel, and they are not creating the traditional effect of acids. So let me take a second here to differentiate that. When I use an alpha hydroxy acid on the face, there's no receptor I'm talking to. It's simply designed to traumatize the skin and force a rebuilding, a remodeling of the epidermis. It is not designed to go down and tell the fibroblast to make new skin or make new collagen and elastin. It's simply designed to go down and create havoc, and the skin is forced to respond. So when they measured collagen and elastin with those peels, they were traditionally measuring the remodeling, rebuilding of the epidermis, which of course does you no good for aging skin. So we deliver L-ascorbic acid and R-lipoic acid down into the skin, but they're actually communicating with receptors and making a positive change in the skin as opposed to going down to burn or destroy. Then we also have niacinamide, which also increases the food supply. That's got to get into the skin, and we're using very high doses of that. We're using retinaldehyde. Now, this is important, at 2% levels. Now, remember, retinaldehyde is 1,000 times stronger than retinol. It's proven to be as strong as retin A, and so we're trying to get it in the skin at high doses. But because we're using the liposome delivery, you don't have nearly the irritation that you see with these retin A peels that are out there, or some of the high-dose retinol peels that I've used in the past and actually formulated in the past. Now, because I'm formulating without using acid as the carrier, because it's not a good carrier, I'm using liposome as the carrier, it makes a tremendous difference in the overall comfort of the peel. And what's most incredible about the facial infusion dermal treatment is that it is effective on every skin condition, and it is safe for every skin type. Now, why is that? Well, because we're using these ingredients that the skin recognizes. And people ask me all the time, they say, why is it you only have one peel for acne, for rosacea, for photo damage, and hyperpigmentation? The answer is simple. Because when you use good ingredients that promote skin health, they're typically effective in multiple different skin conditions. So retinaldehyde is good for acne, it's good for photo damage, it's good for hyperpigmentation, and it's good for rosacea. Niacinamide, the same thing. 1,3-beta-glucan, the same thing. R-lipoic acid, the same thing. Chlorella. It goes on, and that's the list. And you're hearing it. L-ascorbic acid, R-lipoic acid, I'm forgetting one of them, GHK copper peptides. All of these different ingredients are going into the skin, and they are creating change. But they're not creating change through traumatizing the skin. They're creating change through stimulating the skin, and it makes a big difference. Now, does everybody peel on this peel? Well, I would say probably 90% of the people that get a treatment, and the treatment can either be left on for 1 hour or overnight, 90% of these people actually see exfoliation. Now, some people see dramatic exfoliation and other people see mild exfoliation. My preference actually would be to see mild exfoliation, except in those individuals who are suffering from hyperpigmentation. The more you exfoliate hyperpigmented skin, the faster we're going to get to that point where they have very even skin tone. And remember, as with all these individuals, if they're at higher risk, if they're a darker skin Fitzpatrick skin type, like a 3+ skin type, it's probably best to go ahead and put them on the Enlighten for tyrosinase inhibition prior to the peel, and to keep them on Enlighten after the peel. That's going to increase their results dramatically. And they need to be on Enlighten at least 2 weeks, preferably 3 weeks, before they go ahead and go through the facial infusion peel.